Hi friends, thank you so much for being here. So today I'm doing a tutorial on incorporating a stencil into my page, and I'm not going to use a lot of supplies because I want a loose, unfinished look. So the very first thing I'm going to do is figure out where I want to place my figure. And I know right away that I want to use the stencil as her neck. So I'm going to put her face over here. I think like that. So I'm using a blue Stabilo pencil and I'm using it dry. And I am going to just do a basic sketch like this. And I just want this gorgeous, gorgeous red orangey stencil to be a part of her neck. Well, to be her whole neck actually. And I know that I want a sun over here, so I'm just going to make a circle. Okay, so now I'm going to sketch in her eyes and nose and her mouth right there. Now, about stencils, I did a short a couple of days ago where I used my makeup sponge to apply the paint over my stencil. And over the years, I've used lots of different sponges, and they just never seem to really kind of work. But I find that when I use my makeup sponge, it's the best to give me clean lines. And another tip is to not load too much paint onto the sponge. And I always fail this one because I always add like a ton of paint. But, and with mixed media, I mean, anything goes. And if it smudges a bit like over there, it's totally fine because it just gives the page so much character anyways, so it's not that big of a deal. But if you wanted like super, super clean lines, then I would advise to not put a lot of paint onto the brush. So now over here, I have a couple of pieces of collage, and I really love this red text, but I'm not really feeling it over there, and I'm kind of leaning more towards that, but I don't really know yet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just add a line over there, and I'm going to use my Waverly chalk paint, and this one is in ink, and it's a gorgeous black. And what I'm going to do is, I don't know if I'm going to keep it black or if I want a gray. I think maybe I'm going to go for a gray. And because this is this pattern and the color is so bright and it's so stark, I'm going to, when I put the gray, it's really going to make the, see, it's really going to make the stencil pop by contrast. And I really love that little part of the stencil there, so I'm going to keep that in. I'm not going to cover it. That's part of her hair. And the great thing about chalk paint is not only is the covering capacity really good, like it can cover anything, but it also dries really fast. And then if you wanted to add text on top of it with a marker, it really will pop because the chalk just makes everything kind of, it just really is a good holding ground for anything you want to put over top of it, if that makes sense. And so it's really easy to write or make marks or designs or patterns over this chalk paint. So I'm just going to cover up all that white space over there. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to use a wet brush because the Stabilo has got so much pigment in it. If I add the wet brush, see, like so, I can just pull the color out. And so that's really kind of cool. And I'm going to go like this for the hair. And I want it to be really loose and kind of like an unfinished look. So and I really love this blue Stabilo because not only does it just give so much character to your page, but also like say when you put blue next to the like this orange, it's a complementary color. Those are complementary colors, so it's really gonna give you that like pop. And then I'm just gonna let this dry. And what I'm gonna do here is I have this Lyra water soluble crayon, and I'm just going to kind of make some juicy marks here. I love this. It's so, this crayon, it really makes gorgeous marks. So what I'm going to do is I think I'm going to cover up this part because it's too much, you know, it's too distracting because I really want this stencil part of her neck to pop. So I'm going to use this cashew over here and try to pull some of that black from the crayon into it so it kind of grays it down a bit. And I'm just going to go like that. And like I said, I just want a very loose page. See, and the fact that I covered this up a bit, it's just going to make her neck pop. The stencil on her neck, it's just going to go, like it's really going to draw you in. Okay, now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring my collage back again, and I'm going to see, I don't know, let me cut this out. And the great thing about collage is you can just move it around and you can see what works, see what you like. You don't have to commit to anything, stick anything down, and you can just play around and have fun. So I really love that red writing, but I'm not really feeling it there. So I think I like this a lot more. I just like the black marks, and it's still got a little bit of red. So I'm gonna just and this is just a glue stick. So what I'm going to do now is I have this marker and I'm just going to do her lips over here. And I'm going to give her a bindi, of course, because it just makes me happy. And I'm going to give her some eyebrows because she needs eyebrows before I forget. There we go. And maybe I think I'm just going to kind of go like that. Just kind of make some marks over here. And I want to get rid of this so that the neck really shows up, like the stencil in the neck really shows up, but I'm gonna leave some of this. Like I think I'm gonna leave all of that actually. I really like that pattern. And this is, you can still see a little bit of the stencil through the paint because it's kind of watered down, but it's really pushed it back quite a lot. So I think I'm gonna do that over here too. And just go like that. And like that. And I'm not going to build up her face or anything more than what it is. I just kind of like that loose kind of feel to it, but I am going to fill in her eyes with the chalk paint, with the ink. So I'm just going to fill up some of the eyes right there. And this way it's just going to kind of give the eyes a little more definition. And touch up the nostrils a bit and the lips. And so as you can see, this is just a very loose kind of a page. And it didn't take me that long to do it. And then once it's completely dry, I can go in and I can add more text or I can do whatever I want. But I kind of like it like this. And this is just a page in my art journal where I incorporated the stencil. And I hope you really enjoyed that tutorial. And thank you so much for being here. Okay, bye.